Opening night 2014 here at Bakersfield Speedway, Jeffrey, the 69th season of old track, dirt track racing here at Bakersfield Speedway.
I tell you what, Tommy, opening night was supposed to happen last week, got rained out. We are here with 5 big divisions, starting with the mini stocks, American stocks, hobby stocks, IMCA modifieds, and then the big boys. We have the West Coast late model shootout on hand.
A ton of cars in the pits, some even wrecking in the warm-up session here. But let me tell you what, right now on track, we're getting ready. 1 lap to go to start the season off with the heat races for the American stocks. Jeffrey, it's going to be a hell of a season.
I don't even know what to expect at this point. We've gotten so much from this dirt track in the last 2 years that there's so much excitement built around this opening night, and there's so much for us to look forward to. So many unknowns. You don't know who's going to be up there in contention for the championship, who's not. There's plenty to figure out, and like you said, we're getting ready to go green in the American stocks.
So let's get ready for this one. You can literally see it live right here on Low Budget TV. See the sky?
All right. Wow, that was decent.
Pretty nice time for not seeing what we're doing here. American stock heat race number 1 for the Bakersfield Speedway season. We go green. And we're 3 wide already.
Not surprising. Taking the early lead, the number 15D of Dakota Brown jumping to the front. The 7X, piloted by Rhett Spillers, was a pole starter in this race. And then an interesting number in 3rd place, the 21 RRR of Roger Welch. 44, Brian Childress, a name that you're going to hear plenty of throughout the 2014 season. Contact for the lead!
And Dakota Brown going up into the spongy
Brown didn't have much of a choice in that one.
No, he didn't.
Now side by side for the 2nd spot, Welch to the inside of Brown. Also in this heat race, the number 35 of Johnny Wood. Ooh, okay. The 66 of Sean Halterman. And rounding out the field, the number 8 machine of Kyle Yurto.
There he is, number 8, the orange machine. Now, when we're walking through the pits, Jeffrey, you can tell it's opening night. Why? Because that fresh scent of brand new paint jobs on these cars.
Oh yeah, not just that. Just look how straight the fenders are in some of these cars.
That all changed on lap number 2.
Oh yeah.
Tonight is the paint persons, the body specialists on these cars. Worst nightmare, because they literally see it roll out of their garage.
We're going to have a battle for the lead here in this 8-lap heat race, starting to heat up. Welch, Dakota Brown clipping the wall and continuing on. And Welch to the inside.
Not able to get the job done. 7X stays out front, battle for a 2nd now.
Good run by Brown on the outside. We might see a little bit of a payback in a heat race. We're already at that point where we might see payback in the season. Welcome to Oildale, ladies and gentlemen.
In hot laps of 44, Childress was smoking just as he is now.
But is that so unusual for him?
No.
Okay.
Any American stock will smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Give it time.
That's actually probably a good sign. Here comes Brown to the inside. These two had contact earlier. Spillers holds on the lead in the 7X. Next time by, we will see the white flag and bumper tag.
I think there might be some rivalry.
Here we go. Hey, what a way to start the season. Side by side into turn number 3. Brown with an outside pass, a good pass.
Brown's front end washes up, but he gets it rotated.
Spillers back to the inside. Will we see a similar move that we saw earlier on? It's incredible having watched late model qualifying and now watching these. I feel like I have to slow my neck down because these cars have a bit of a speed difference. Spillers trying to catch up to Brown. Not sure it's going to happen through turns 3 and 4. Spillers diving to the inside. Are we going to have our first photo finish? Spiller
takes the win. I believe he did.
I don't know. It could have been Brown. I have no idea who just won.
Yeah.
But the most important part of this heat race, Tommy, is Yurto.
Here he comes through turns number 3 and 4. I like the looks of that car. I like the orange. It's very camera
friendly. Is this
friendly.
the car that you said you recognized?
No.
This isn't the car. This isn't that car that we saw earlier in the pits?
No, it's not.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about Mark Irwin. who's coming up next. Heat number 2 for the American Stocks on track now. We're getting ready to go green. On the pole, the number 84, Chris Settlemeyer, to his outside, the 79, Dale Fry Sr., and 2 in the second row, Craig Hoke, to his outside, the 59, Mike Hill Jr. that makes contact, and Mark Irwin in the 14 getting collected a little bit. Tracy Childress is the final car in this one, and she has to avoid the N2 machine. That sounds like a typical American stock heat race.
Well, he went in too deep.
That's right, he did. And that's not a joke, that's just what it said on the car. Mark Irwin and Mike Hill. Mike Hill's had the most interesting heat race so far of anybody in 2014.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And, yeah,
boy.
Hill's car is just not rotating there in the center, it just goes straight. Out front, Chris Settlemeyer leading Dale Fry Sr. in that 79. That 59 car trying to figure out how to grip onto this track. Mark Irwin there on the bumper. Tracy Childress now looking to the inside for spot number 4. Mark Irwin painted that car purple, number 14. Team Sydney. That's what it says all over it. Riding with an angel.
Now that car looked different last year.
Racing with an angel, I should correct myself. And Irwin looking to the inside of Hill in the center of the corners. He knows where Hill is not having.
Watch how the 14 just has such a better entry.
Yeah, you can see Hill. Those tires are turned dead locked to the left.
No, that time around the 14 car didn't look that much better. But definite.
Look at that thing. It is cranked all the way to the left.
There you go. See the difference.
And then he has to set himself immediately up afterwards. The push loose. He's got so much wheel into the car that when he gets back on the gas, it wants to turn left.
American Stock.
Battle for third spot on track now. They come across the line. These two collided at the beginning.
Oh boy.
And they're probably going to keep colliding throughout the season.
Both these cars are not handling like they should. Settlemeyer, I think, is handling like it should.
He's got it going on right here in the number 84. He's got almost a full straightaway lead ahead of Dale Fry Sr. Irwin does get around Mike Hill. Hill's still struggling. Tracy Childress, either she's trying to figure out things with her car, because we've seen her run a lot better than that in the 17. And smoke coming from Dale Fry Sr.
That was kind of weird. It's like the car just stopped going into the turn.
And then it picked up again.
It looks like maybe the thing has a...
That is weird.
I don't know. It's like one tire spinning.
Uh-huh.
Like it almost looked like a broken axle.
But why would it smoke?
That's why I don't think it's a broken axle.
Out of turn number 4.
American Stock.
Chris Settlemeyer takes the second heat race win for the American Stocks. And Dale Fry Sr. might hang on for second spot. Something not going right for that 79. Irwin finishing third.
Yeah, that's a weird issue.
Childress and Houck.
It's like his car coughed.
And then it literally started suffocating.
Like, okay. Well, yep, Settlemeyer, your winner in the second heat race of the season. Getting ready for our next set of heat races. The Western late models out here to put on a show. Tommy, they call it a shootout, and I think there's no question as to why.
Oh yeah, the West Coast late model shootout on track now. Who's in this one?
Starting on the front row, the 91T looked really good in qualifying, and these guys arrived on Thursday because they were so excited for opening night here at Bakersfield Speedway. That's Tony Toast on the 91T, and to his outside, the number 2H machine of Bobby Hogue, the 4th. Then we have in a new number, the number 88 machine, Jason Pappage, who's been having a pretty busy, what we would call the technical off season, at least for us. He was actually way out in Florida racing up with those late models as well. I saw it on TV, you know.
I didn't. I don't have MAF TV.
Oh, well,
Thanks for rubbing it in.
You're welcome. The number 7, that's Cody Laney, and then the number 5, R.C. Whitwell, who we've also heard has had a pretty good last week. Then the 74, Dennis Souza, and rounding out the field, the 77L of Eric Luckman. 7 cars, and contact already. Oh boy.
Hogue out to an early lead.
Oh boy. Tommy, in qualifying, there were 2 defining factors. There were the cars that handled well and the cars that didn't handle at all. There didn't seem to be much of a medium.
No.
already seeing a little bit of each. You see how much these cars are spreading out. Hogue, Toast, Papich, those cars are handling like they need to. Laney drifting up out of, oh, hard in the wall. Actually goes Papich with the right rear, slapped it. Continues on, but a lot of sparks flying. Can't wait to have a GoPro sitting on that wall later.
You can see cosmetic damage. Hopefully it didn't hurt the rear end at all.
Luckman in the 77L struggling a little bit here on lap number 3. Hogue's already closing in. And then a battle through turns 3 and 4 between Souza and Whitwell. Whitwell has an issue out of 4. Pulls it right to the apron.
He had an
issue in lap traffic.
Whitwell had an issue in qualifying. I wonder if it came back to bite him again.
This is going to be a very exciting main event. With the differences of speed in some of these cars. Some of them, it's pretty much those who are able to keep their foot in the gas, keep the car sideways. The other turns are going to be okay. Contact between Luckman and Papich. There's some cars that just do not want to turn at all.
The track is heavy right now. And it's definitely a handling track.
Hogue and Toast, both those cars looking really good for tonight. Hogue out of turn number 4, going to win the heat race with Toast second and Papich after getting in the wall in third. Laney in the number 7 machine, which initially when I got here, I was like, hey, Mike Johnson's here.
Yeah, and you know Mike Johnson's going to find a ride somewhere.
He's right, yeah.
Heat race number 2 for the West Coast late model shootout. Clay Daly starting him on the pole to his outside is the number 10, and Rob Sanders, that's your front row, we go green. Jeff Decker in the 84, Devin Crockett in the 66, and we are scrambling down the front straightaway.
Yes, we are.
Oh, man. Battle for the lead, battle in the back, Paul Klukamoni in the 22G machine, Chris Barnett, Larry Childress in the 17, the 16, driven by Preston Luckman, and the 12 of Ron Bartels pulling it into the infield. That's new starter in this heat race. Lap 2 on the board, and we have Rob Sanders out front in the number 10N machine.
Tommy, we hit upon it during the first heat race for these guys, the big difference that we saw in qualifying by how cars were handling. We know that by the time these guys hit for their main event, this track's going to be a lot drier, a lot harder. Is that going to help the situation or make it worse?
You know, some guys might have the setup in their cars waiting for the track to come to them. Some guys might know the track's going to be heavy all night. We don't know. We've got Guglielmoni and Luckman making contact over turn number 3 and 4.
Right in front of your leader.
Rob Sanders, your leader in the 10N, trying to figure out a way around him here on lap number 5. And they narrowly get around.
Do you see what I see? I think there's something wrong with the left front of 16P.
Clay Daly up the track. Yeah, you know, that car I think is just ill handling right now. It's literally going all over the track. Sanders takes the white flag with Daly in tow. Guglielmoni slowing down right in front of Decker. In turn 3 out of turn number 4, your winner of this heat race, Rob Sanders in the 10N. Daly coming home in second, and Luckman stalled it right coming to the line, and in fact not going to finish the race.
Some of these late models are really struggling tonight.
Yeah, they are.
You see the 12 at the top right of your screen sitting in the infield. Just, I mean, you know, this is opening night. You kind of expect of all nights, this will be the one where you see the mechanical issues at their highest.
I would say, going off of what you said, it did look like that 16P of Preston Luckman was not handling. It might be an axle that is off. One of the axles is broken, and it's throwing that car all around. When you hit the power and only one wheel is spinning, it does want to throw that car all the way around.
He will drive it off.
We'll find out coming in as the night goes on. Folks, if you'd like to purchase a copy of these DVDs to see what else is going to happen tonight, we have them available for sale. Contact us on Facebook at the link right below this video player. And get a hold of us on Facebook. Send us a message. we will talk back. Here we go, getting ready for heat number 3.
Warming up for heat race number 3. Late models getting ready to go in this one. The number 27 machine, Nick Bartels, starting on the front row with the 11X of Steve Drake to his outside. The 1N of Mike Corwin, who we're used to seeing in Super Show. Oh boy. And they get through it. It wasn't pretty.
Larry Rise has cosmetic damage to his right rear. We go yellow.
Yeah, the caution is going to come out. You saw the contact there. Basically started up front and ended in the rear. That's kind of how it's notorious for restarts to go that way when there is an issue.
There was a silly start, though.
Yeah, just getting started to say the 1N Mike Corwin. We're used to seeing him in the super streets.
That's right.
So we were looking at the car like, I wonder if he just put a late model body on a super street.
Oh, what's going on here? 11X machine.
Man. See, this is why you have to film during the commercials.
This is why you come to the track to see it all in person, because it's open tonight, that's why.
That's why. Also in this field, the 5K and your track record holder.
Dino the dinosaur.
That's Mike Kirby in the 5K. Tommy mentioned the dinosaur. Dino, Napier. We also have the 77 machine of Bill Bartels, the 84G who actually had a transponder issue during qualifying. That's Kyle Griffith. And the 5W of Larry Wise, who's going to race on the quarter mile.
Now, look at the right side. Cosmetic damage.
That's
he lost
a flat right rear.
And he lost half of his spoiler from that wall contact that we captured.
Yeah, so a rough start for this heat race. And we'll get it all shaped up and ready to go. And the green flag coming out. Restart, and we're underway. With Steve Drake, our leader, Bartels and Napier, the early top 3. Now, as far as we can tell, Bill Bartels, hold on to it, was headed right for the wall.
I know.
And again, that's right. That's exactly what we've been seeing. Some of these cars just can't keep it in the direction they want it to go.
Basically, when they get to the center of the corner, that's where those cars either make their decision of whether they want to turn or not.
Oh, Tommy, the 5X might have an issue here. The left rear.
A lot of smoke, too.
Yeah, blue smoke.
And the 77.
Bill Bartels on the apron.
Like you were saying, these are the first races for a lot of these cars.
Yeah, Dino Napier is still stuck basically in the drive portion of the heat, or I was going to say the heat race, of the pit road. So definite issues with that car. It looked like something happened with the left rear. Now, if you want to see something exciting, Tommy, watch the 5K of Mike Kirby. Just, why don't you zoom right into that left front? Right up. That thing is getting airtime.
You can see when he hits the brakes, it's not even on the track yet. Nice.
Well, the white flag is out. Checker going to come out for the 11X of Steve Drake. Bartels, that's Nick Bartels from the 27 machine, finishing second. And third place going to go to the number 5 of Mike Kirby. It's not over yet, though.
Now it is. Heat race number 1 for the most exciting division that usually hits the track. Out here at Bakersfield Speedway, the Hobby Stocks. On the front row, the number 47 machine of Bobby Quinton to his outside, the number 2Z. That is Kevin Irwin inside row 2, the 79 Dale Fry Sr. to his outside. Brandon Davis in the 15. Kevin Collier, and we have a 3-wide crash down the front straightaway. Bedingfield nearly getting collected with the 79.
Oh, man, he just ripped off the front end of that car. And he's taking it with him.
He's wearing it out of the door.
Taking it with him.
Brandon Davis, Kevin Collier, and Del Fry Sr.
You know what sucks is that 18 machine didn't have a dent, scratch, smudge on it.
Until now.
And it didn't even make it into turn 1 before this happened. And it was fine during the wreck.
For the most part, to go off of what you're saying, I'm sure the 79 nor the 15 of Davis and Fry had any damage too. Look at that door. It's peeled down.
It should just race like that.
Opening night. Rounding out the field, the 14 Justin Dunn and the 7K of John Bedingfield, who Bedingfield nearly got a piece of that action as well, turning it right at the right time. We're going to go full restart, Jeffrey. What do we just say?
I see the devil's horns on that car right now.
Hobby stocks. Kevin Collier. Well, we now know the fabrication work that goes in with these hobby stocks behind the front bumper covers. Not what you wanted to see here on the first lap of the hobby stocks, but hey, I guess maybe get it out of the way now instead of in the mains or in the rest of the season.
2014. We're starting it off big.
Gonna try this one again with Quentin and Jason's in the house. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Wonderful. Here we go. Hobby stocks. Did it surprise you that we had a crash on the start of the race?
Not for opening night, no.
Jason, the one of the officials for the West Coast Late Model Shootout. Good to see him back. What's so fun about opening night that everybody knows?
Oh yeah.
When you're a racing person at any racetrack, is getting to see everybody again. You know, you kind of get away from your family, your racing family.
I was so confused when I heard Jason's voice.
Yeah.
Because we're expecting a different Jason.
You literally walk on, literally on opening night, you walk through the pit saying, Happy New Year on this special day, opening night 2014. Kevin Irwin, let me try that again, with a great start.
Yeah, not wasting any time for that 2Z machine. And interestingly enough, speaking of an Irwin, Jimmy the Shoe Irwin, not in attendance tonight as far as behind a wheel. We see him in the stands.
I wonder if he's going to be part-timing at the season, coming out for the special events, trying to just take everybody's money.
Well, if I'm correct, last year he didn't make it for opening night either.
You're right.
Battery
cable issue. You know how ironic that would be if that happened again? Battle for 4th spot down the back straight of the go. Collier.
We're shedding debris.
Collier's got that monster mount looking front end.
There's an orange piece of debris going into turn number 3.
Gee, I wonder who it came from.
I believe it's actually, it's one of the wheel covers of that car right there. Came off to the left front, and we were actually on the car when it happened.
Brandon Davis trying to make a move around Justin Dunn. Get to see Justin Dunn back, but he's going to save it. Davis is not. And now he's going to hit the tire.
Well, he saved the race car. How about that?
He did. He definitely did. Justin Dunn traveling from, I think he usually races out at Bakersfield Speedway. We've got quite a few Paris drivers out here tonight. Good to see them
It's amazing to me. I just realized the leader's here.
Davis putting some white on that quarter panel as if it needed it.
Well, that's why. It doesn't make much of a difference.
So Kevin Irwin out front. We saw him win at the first low-budget TV event on camera, Chowchilla Speedway.
Oh, you mean of this year?
Of this season.
I was like Willow Springs in 2006. Here we go, battle for second.
Contact done. And Quentin.
Now these cars are starting to look like hobby stocks. They look like cup cars when they got here.
They did! Bump draft. Speaking of cup racing.
The white flag is out, but I think we know which battle to watch.
Quentin out front in that 47 machine of this pack. Bobby Quentin getting passed by Justin Dunn. Collier going to try it. We're going to try 3 wide at the line. Side by side. Who's it going to be? Dunn taking second spot over Quentin.
With 1 lap to go.
And Collier. You're right.
This race ain't over
This
yet.
race is so much over for Kevin Irwin. He's off into the pits right now.
He's already at his
The 2Z is literally driving down pit road. Who is it going to be for second? I think we answered at the last lap. Justin Dunn. Collier passing Quentin. Quentin's car kind of not running properly.
Well, it got a dent. It got a dent.
And scuff marks on his right side tire.
Can't race like that.
Bedingfield rounding out the field.
Getting ready for the next heat race in the hobby stocks. Green flag in the air. Robert Swearingen on the outside, the 21 of Kyle Wood on the inside. You'll notice, for those of you that are from Paris Speedway, you're going to notice a lot of actual Paris hobby stocks in the field. Oh, Wood almost gets clipped and holding on to it. Noticing that the 32 of Tina McGowan is running without a hood in this race. And in third place, the number 94 machine of Colby Quinton. Fourth place, speaking of Paris cars, the number 71X of Alan Grubel. And we're getting exciting for second. Then two more cars round out this field. The number 3K of Jerry Keaton and the 78, who we followed to the track, Ralph Cook. And you know what's funny about Ralph Cook?
He arrived in his fire suit.
That's right. He arrived to drive.
Well, out to an early lead and a new car for him, it seems. 21, Kyle Wood.
Yeah, this car should look familiar from those that do watch low-budget TV or that do frequent Bakersfield Speedway. But though you'll notice a different number on it.
Jeffrey.
Yes?
What happened to the 11X of Chad Johnson?
Well, Kyle Wood stole his car.
How dare he?
I thought that was obvious.
Hopefully no one, hopefully Chad Johnson hasn't found that out yet.
Hopefully.
Chad Johnson running in the Sport Mods in 2014, so you're going to see him in the 11.
Yeah, we were actually standing next to Chad when he was making this transaction, talking with his potential buyer. We see that everything panned out. Uh-oh, now I noticed this. Swearingen's having an issue out of turn 2.
He's looking for a billboard.
I think he's looking for our wall cams.
Yep.
The car had a really long backfire. It looked odd, so mechanical issues for the 33.
It is a brand new car for that number 33 Swearingen team, so that could be part of the issue. New bugs to work out. White flag. Kyle Wood.
Side by side for fourth. It's Keaton to the inside of Grubel. A pair of cars that we're not used to seeing out here. And checkered to Kyle Wood in the number 21 hobby stock. H&S Body Works returning as the series sponsor.
That's not a surprise for that car, at least. It's running the same as it has.
After the last heat race, they're already in business again.
Heat race for the hobby stocks, H&S Body Works hobby stocks. Thanks to Jeffrey for reminding us that they're back as a title sponsor. The number 28 on the pole, that is driven by Jesse Bowles. To Jesse's outside is the number 900 of Shannon Duncan. I love that 900 number. Tim Delsett Jr. and the 41. We go green, the 48 to his outside of row number 2 of Blaine Whitson. Steven Johnson in the 26. Kenny Christensen in the 87. Steven Johnson wasting no time trying to get to the front. And rounding out the field, the 52 of Perry Alderman.
I think Perry Alderman's in the wrong division.
I think so. Well, there's not a huge dent on his right side.
Oh, boy.
3 wide for the lead. Johnson hanging up on the high side. And your leader that time by Perry Alderman and Christensen making contact. Tim Delsett going for a ride in turn 1 as well.
Now, for the record, there was no contact that set all that off. Perry just, I'm sure, getting used to the car.
I figured there was contact when they go into the infield, though.
Side by side for third, where it was.
Whitson, your early leader in that number 48 machine. Blaine Whitson. Steven Johnson with the new type of color configurations. Purple, the main identity. On that one, it looks good too. Love the purple wheels to match. Jesse Bowles coming out here in the number 28 machine in third spot. Shannon Duncan in that number 900. The easiest car to identify, that's for sure. Because I don't think we've ever seen a 3-digit number with that high of a combo.
Maybe in a demolition derby, but
maybe.
Not in a race that I can recall.
Lap 4 on the board. Your leader crossing the line now, making a lap 5. So Blaine Whitson making some time over Steven Johnson. I believe Blaine Whitson was one of the Paris Auto Speedway drivers as well. Making the tow. Gotta appreciate them for coming out here. Bakersfield Speedway, it's definitely a long drive. And as long as they enjoy the night. Though they do got a lot of local boys that know this track very well. White flag out for Blaine Whitson. Looking strong here in this heat race. We're on lap number 7 of 8. Through turns number 3 and 4, no contest for the lead after he took it. Blaine Whitson taking the checkered flag. Steven Johnson will come across the line, second spot. And rounding out the field, the number 28, Jesse Bowles.
I like that. That was good. Like that got me excited for the third place finisher.
Yeah, of course.
Well, how about this race?
Kenny Christensen hanging on. Tim Delson beating him.
Whoa! Getting ready for the final heat race for the hobby stocks tonight before they get racing and they're all their action. Like we mentioned earlier, if you're interested in seeing the main events, we do have DVDs available. If you just go to the links in the description, you will be able to find all the information you need. And we have a Facebook that you can contact us through, and we'll keep interacting with you fans and drivers and contact. Green flag in the air. Cody Fireball Chambers leading into turn number 1. That's Mark Key in the 21K. I almost said Brian Childress. I swear.
I see where you
you see where that was coming from.
Yeah.
But that is actually Rick Childress Sr. And how about this guy going for the lead right now, the number 98. We mentioned Paris cars as the caution flag is out. We mentioned Paris cars. The 98 of Luke Dodd. The Dodd name, if you're a Paris Auto Speedway fan, you should recognize that name in an instant.
And you should definitely recognize that car scheme as well.
And you know what? You should also recognize that we're low budget.
That's very true.
Yeah. So going through the rest of this field, the 44, like I mentioned, Rick Childress Sr. behind him. Rick Childress Jr. They had a bit of a family father-son rivalry when we were out at Porterville at the Rocky Hill Speedway. That was fun to watch. And then the 37 of Aaron Stewart rounding out this field. We're going to get this all sorted out. They must not have liked something with that start and full restart being waived, so we'll get this all settled and back to racing. Chambers and Key, your front row. And Senior going to once again suffer at the hands of Chambers.
I think he wished that we stuck with the first restart, or the first start, I should say.
Senior's car looking really good. He kind of had a gray scheme going on for a while. And they finally found that blue paint.
They sure did. I think what they did is they just unpeeled Brian Childress' car and stuck it on the side of this one.
Probably.
Because I like how Brian Childress had the new paint scheme.
Battle for the lead. It's Dodd on the inside of Key.
Luke
now,
Dodd.
what I don't know if Key is a Paris car. I don't know if he was in that group, but he might have been. As we have a great battle for third between Chambers, Childress, and Childress. Senior's already trying to lose that right side door.
Would that surprise you?
No. I've seen the guy do a corkscrew down the front straightaway. Nothing would surprise me with him. A little bit of contact through turns 3 and 4 between Childress Jr. and Chambers. And Aaron Stewart working his way around Childress Sr.
Aaron Stewart's got a nice looking paint scheme as well going on.
This is part of the fun, you know, of opening night. You get to see kind of what everyone's new car, the new drivers, everything. It just all comes together on opening night. Really fun. That's why I know we're excited that we were able to make it here. We weren't going to make it to the original opening night of Bakersfield Speedway this year, but it got rained out. And Luke Dodd out of turn 4. That car is just hooked up. Mike Mosier, longtime announcer here. I think Mike Mosier's been announcing since the place opened 69 years ago, right?
Oh, Stewart and Senior.
I'll take that as a yes.
No, actually, they just spoke about it not too long ago, that Mike Mosier has been now announcing at the Bakersfield Speedway for 20 years.
Nah, he's been here since opening night on 69 years ago, I'm sure of it. But he was telling us,
you're right.
You guys got to watch out for this cat right here. Luke Dodd crossing the line, and that pretty much sums up why. That 98 car is going to be a tough one to beat tonight. Mark Key in the 21K going to finish second. And then, really, there was like a barrier for third. Chambers held everybody off, but it was kind of a tight battle there.
Heat race number 1 for the IMCA Modifieds here at the Bakersfield Speedway. Let's go through the starting lineup. The 14B, Steve Bowles to his outside. The number 5B, that is driven by Brett Bennett inside row number 2. The 07 Troy Morris to his outside. Phil Eagleston in the 15E. Inside row number 3, Larry Hood, and to his outside the number 11X of Bobby Hogue. 6 cars, 8 laps. We go green, IMC modified style. Bennett out to an early lead. Battle for the 3rd spot. A big cluster of cars from second on back contact. And the Hood get into Morris. Morris pushing the tire into the infield, and we continue on.
Well, that wasn't very good looking.
Morris destroyed the cone on the exit of turn 4. Battle for 3rd spot. Eagleston to the inside of Hogue. If you remember watching some recap action from Rocky Hill Speedway late 2013, you saw that 15E machine going up and over the wall in turn 2, and now it's just a novel.
This is the most aggressive heat race I've seen all night.
And it comes at no surprise, these modifiers are legends on dirt. Steve Bowles in the 2nd spot. Here comes Hogue to the inside. Battle for 2nd. Battle for 4th right behind him. Eagleston in that mix. Both split tied. 3 wide going into turn number 1. Morris right back into the action after going to the infield.
I don't know where he came from.
He's got a hot rod under him tonight, but Bennett is loving what he sees he can live.
Coming out of the 2 machine, Tommy.
Oh! Maybe some retaliation or just hard racing. Bennett literally has more than a straightaway lead. He can look over to his left and see the cars racing around the other part of the track.
Not sure where that smoke's coming from.
It's also smoking out of the 14 machine.
That just started up.
White flag in the air for Bennett. We've got a battle here from 3rd spot back. Bennett will come across the line. Your winner.
I feel bad for Bennett. I don't think I got any footage of him.
Hogue finishing in 2nd spot, and Bowles will beat.
We had contact across the line.
Bowles will beat Hood and make contact.
Look at that. Look at that car.
And we got rivets destroyed off of that. The whole left side quarter panel pop rivets just completely ripped off.
Now, where do you suspect? I mean, it's kind of weird where some of the smoke's coming from for both those cars.
I think it's just opening night. There's got to be some little oil leaks coming out of somewhere.
Gotta be.
What a heat race for the modified.
Getting ready for another IMCA modified heat race. Green flag in the air. Roger Holt leading us into turn number 1 with new number 00 Kyle Heckman. Then the number 11 machine, R.C. Whitwell, who I've heard won out in Vegas.
I believe he did.
I heard it from Tommy, so...
and I believe I heard it from Facebook. But the internet never tells any lies.
No, it doesn't. 78S also in the field. Matt Schweitzer moving up from, or I guess moving sideways from the super streets. I don't know which direction
I don't know either, yeah.
And then rounding out the field, number 1X of Steve Streeter.
It's always good to move sideways.
He's using the Great Glass Elevator from Willy Wonka.
Yeah, absolutely. Roger Holder out front in this number 24 machine. Fast looking car here as well as Kyle Heckman.
Now, Tommy, I can't lie, you know that.
You can't.
So I just need to be up front and say 00 is my favorite number.
Yeah, you raced with 00.
That is my number when I'm racing, that's right. Well, Kyle Heckman's in 2nd place. That car looks really good, don't it?
It sure does. It's kind of weird to see a orange, blue, and black 00 on track. That almost rhymed, didn't it?
Yeah. I had to think about it, though.
But, I mean, when we walk through the pits, we're like, whoa. And to see Heckman driving it, you're like, whoa.
All three drivers up front. You know, they all could be contenders for the win tonight.
Heckman does look like he is closing in on the West Coast wild man, Roger Holder.
And Whitwell's right there with the both of them. White flag in the air for Holder. A little bit of smoke trailing from the 24 car. It was brief, not like we've seen earlier in other heat races with the modifieds. A lot of smoke coming from those cars. Checkered flag out. Roger Holder's gonna win! I haven't had water all day.
And your top three literally going across the line together. And the remaining field of competitors?
Yes.
Randy Schweitzer.
No, that would be Matt Schweitzer.
You're right. That's how old school I was right there.
Yeah, you were.
Heat race number 3, if I counted correctly, for the IMCA Modifieds. Justin Schweitzer on the pole to his outside. Jimmy Reeves, number 0. Jay Marks making an introduction from the second row up to second spot in the 97. Robbie Sawyer in the 198, and rounding out the field is a 29X of Scott Gatson. Jimmy Reeves, your winner 2 years ago at King Speedway on Low Budget TV, leading this heat race so far.
Now, earlier I said how 00 is my favorite number, but 0 is a very close second.
All right, Jeffrey, just wait till Carla Laney steps on the track.
Didn't she already race?
She did. I'm actually,
take that!
I'm not as arrogant as you are with numbers, though, so I didn't want to boast. But you know what I'll say? I'm a huge fan of Carla Laney because she drives and represents the 96, much like I race with, okay?
Yeah, okay. All right.
You all right there?
Yeah, we can agree to disagree.
Well, okay. Jimmy Reeves, by the way, is agreeing the fact that he's making time over the field, and Scott Gatson in the 29 just pulling off track. So he's going to be a DNF in the heat race. Lap 4 on the board. Jimmy Reeves in that number 0. No stranger to running up front. In fact, going back to Low Budget TV a little bit, he had a very exciting ending to Rock Hills Speedway's Turkey Nationals with Paul Stone, door-to-door racing. Reeves gave it all he had on that last lap, but Paul Stone's still taking the win. So Reeves, we know he's an awesome and fun competitor to watch out here. Robbie Sawyer having to hit the brakes. Keeping it off that 2J of Schweitzer. Reeves, no doubt, unless the Meteor hit it, will win this race. The battle is from, look out! The battle, here comes Reeves across the line.
Tommy thought he saw a Meteor.
I thought I did.
Just one of those suicide bugs.
J. Marks coming home second, Schweitzer third, and Sawyer rounding out the field.
A lot of rear bake going into this show. And next up, folks, I know you're all excited because we have the main event, the biggest division here tonight. Who is it, Tommy?
The mini stocks.
Tommy, just a reminder, cut out that last part about mini stocks.
10-4.
Getting ready for the next IMCA Modified, and I believe the last one in the history of modified racing. We'll see if they're going to let that start stand. Watching, and it looks like we're good. So Logan Drake in the 111 going to take the early lead in the 51B of Brian Clark sitting in second. 15 Brad Pounds third, the 101 of Randall Davis, and Chet Reeves in his 9XXX machine.
Good battle up front here. We got 3 cars under a straightaway. Or on top of a straightaway, I guess.
Now, if they raced last weekend, they probably would have fallen underneath it.
Very true. We got rained out last weekend by a monsoon.
Side by side now for the second position, Pounds and Clark. Brad Pounds was out in Vegas racing up just a couple days ago, but the way he described it,
How did he describe it? He said it was pretty cruddy. Tore up the suspension in that 15B in Vegas. Got it back pieced up together, and is now racing here tonight.
And like you said, Tommy, it's incredible the turnover these cars can have. He didn't have a right front on Thursday night. It's Saturday night. This car's racing right now.
He had to drive home from Vegas, take it to the shop, take it all apart, rebuild it.
They probably did the entire thing last night. That's like the only logistically possible.
Yep.
Deal with that. And he's closing in. He wants to win this heat race. Logan Drake, had a much better exit out of turn number 2 in that 111 machine. And Drake out of turn number 4 is going to win it here in the modifieds. I'm so glad we're back.
Oh, it feels so great. It's unfortunate that we couldn't scratch this itch last week, but at the same time, it was very fortunate because we would have missed it live being here when we had to do a voiceover, and that's half as good, but it's 100% good when you're here.
Heck yeah.
And hopefully every one of you can make it out to Bakersfield Speedway or your local short track throughout the season. Mini stocks up next. The final Division to do heat races of opening night here at Bakersfield Speedway, and it couldn't get any more exciting if we tried. On the pole, you're gonna get noticed. On the pole, the number 8, Darren Sherman. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing at Steve Rourke and the number 77 on his outside.
I like to think we're laughing with him.
We're laughing.
That car is my favorite car.
Now, the reason why we're laughing is because he pounded the wall in hot laps. Jeffrey, just to ask, 77 or 77X? Do you know? It looks like straight up.
Yeah.
And we're going to call him...
77X wrecked earlier.
That's right, Steve Rourke.
So they both wrecked, actually.
Starting on the outside front row, we go green, but literally a great job of that crew to get that car rolling again, because that literally pounded the wall right about there, I believe. Tina Bell in the number 29 machine.
I'm throwing in a nomination for paint job of the year.
Absolutely.
And also competitor. Oh boy, here we go.
Battle for the lead up front, Sherman and Bell. Third spot right now is Roy Menard. The number 70 machine. The number 7, your defending champion, Gary Spiller, the black and orange machine.
77 just regained his strength here, and he's pulling back out on the racetrack.
The number 48, 48S, Steven Settlemeyer. The number 92 of Gene Glower. And that's your field of mini stock competitors. Here on lap number 2, we've got a great battle up front. Darren Sherman, I'm sorry.
Tina Bell looked really good in hot laps earlier. So no surprise to see her running up front, trying to chase down Sherman down the back straightaway.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see this a lot more often this season. These two are known for running up front and running well. Tina Bell is an all-star, what can we say?
I think Tina had more bad luck last year than good luck, from what I remember.
She did win a race, I believe, sometime in the middle of the season. So hopefully it's turned around, battle for the lead up front. And Bell keeping it off the wall, but she's going to look to the inside of Sherman.
You got to love this mini stock class.
This is the only battle on track right now. Everybody else pretty much single file.
Well, Tommy, you know who I'm watching then. Actually, nope, we do got a battle.
We do. Gary Spiller. Trying to get around Roy Menard Jr. in the number 70. Spiller not with a great exit out of turn number 4. Roy's going to love what he saw, if he even has a rear view mirror. Battle up front again. White flag is out.
I'm seeing some smoke or something coming out of the left front of the 8 car.
I see a big backfire. And we go yellow for Roy Menard in turn number 2. Looked like he might have got up into the sponge.
It could be because I think his name's pronounced Maynard.
Is it? Or it could be Manard.
You know what? That's true.
Beautiful.
I'll see you in just a minute.
Here we go, restart lap number 7. That means green and white.
This could be a really big showdown here.
1 lap shootout.
Watching Tina Bell. Can't she do anything with Sherman in the 8?
She goes up to the high side, tries to diamond the corner. She shoots down the back straightaway into turn 3, taking the high side again. Out of turn number 4, it'll be Sherman taking the first checkered flag for the mini stocks.
Now, the smoke, now you see the smoke.
Look at that.
Now you really see the smoke.
Bell finishing second, Spiller finishing third.
That's not a good way to finish off a heat race. Well, he will finish up front.
Yes, he did.
I'm ready, man, for this final heat race. Oh,
Me
man,
and Ed's was pretty good, wasn't it?
What's that?
Me and Ed's was
It was
pretty good,
fantastic. The 25, Zach Boynott leading us away. He had a bit of a rough ride at Rocky Hill Speedway.
Oh, yes, he did.
He tried to climb the wall. He didn't get over it. The 79 machine, that's Doug Shepard in second. And then the 13, how about this? Kira Holder. I love that car. That's the smallest car I've seen all weekend.
I like the yellow bumper, too. I think they put the rookie tape on the wrong side.
Maybe she was planning on driving in reverse. Running that inside line. Oh, swinging to the outside is Holder. And then the number 4 machine running up a little bit further up, Trenton Millard. You should recognize that name from the Mini Dwarfs.
Mini Dwarf added water, and look at it grow.
Yolanda Nuki in the 49 machine, now holding onto the 3rd spot. Getting some pressure from the 95F of Richard Wilson.
Hopefully.
And bumper. Tanuki! All right. Now, here's an interesting story. The last car in the field that we need to bring up, the number 0. It's not Johnny 3-Wide Winchester as the 95F goes up in smoke. It's not Billy Winchester.
Jeffrey, I'm seeing some pink gloves behind the wheel there, on top of the steering wheel.
That would be because the number 0 is driven by Shannon Beatty.
She almost got a piece of that wall there.
Oh, she's just running it. Basically right on the line, edge out of control. You got me?
Hey, you know what? His way, her way.
That's right. Well, here goes Boynott. It's a lap Shannon. Lap number 5. Shepard still sitting in the 2nd spot.
Zach Boynott looking strong out here so far tonight. That car looks brand new. It looks like he literally drove it off the car lot there.
I love that Millard. Speaking of cars that look brand new, I like how he's driving a Toyota Camry.
Wait a minute. Look at this thing smoking.
That thing looks like it just came off the car lot. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hertz Rent-A-Car.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure. It does look like it's...
This is a battle for second that we're looking at right now, by the way.
Yellow. White flag is out.
White flag is out. And Wilson taking over the 3rd spot. But yeah, Boynott with a great run. Lapping everyone up to the 4th position. So Boynott gonna finish in the number 1 spot, setting him up for a good main event.
I'm gonna show you Millard's. Look at that finish. I'm gonna show you Millard's Toyota Camry.
Yeah, check this thing out. This is legit, okay? This thing could race in the Cup Series.
I think it has, Jeffrey.
It could be the pace car in the Cup Series.
It won last week in Phoenix.
Hey.